Welcome back to the channel Rare Coins Collections. Today, we're diving into a true treasure of American numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1980. This coin, which you might find hiding in your spare change, could be worth much more than you think. So, stick with us as we explore the history, design, rarity, and errors that make this particular penny so valuable. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Let's begin with a bit of history. The Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of American currency since it was first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln. Fast forward to 1980, and this coin continued to circulate as part of everyday transactions across the United States. But what makes the 1980 Lincoln penny stand out among the millions minted that year? The answer lies in a few rare factors that can turn this humble penny into a small fortune. Now, you may be wondering, what makes the 1980 penny so special, especially considering that the United States minted over 7 billion of them? Well, let's break it down. The value of a coin often comes down to its condition, rarity, and, surprisingly, its errors. And with the 1980 Lincoln penny, there are a few key things to watch out for that can make it worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Let's talk about condition first. As you can imagine, most pennies from 1980 were used extensively and show the typical signs of wear and tear, scratches, discoloration, and fading details. But if you're lucky enough to find a 1980 penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost as fresh as the day it was minted, this is already a significant find. Uncirculated pennies are far rarer than you might think, and collectors are always on the lookout for coins in pristine condition. But what really sets the 1980 Lincoln penny apart are the minting errors. Coins with mistakes during the minting process can be worth a small fortune. For example, one of the most sought-after errors in the 1980 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, creating a slight overlap of the image. In the case of the 1980 penny, this could make Abraham Lincoln's portrait appear doubled or slightly blurred. The error is subtle, but it's easy to spot if you know what to look for. A double die obverse 1980 penny in excellent condition can command a high price due to its rarity. Another potential error to watch for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that's shifted slightly off the edge of the coin. While it may sound like a small mistake, this error is highly prized by collectors, as each off-center coin is unique and represents a one-of-a-kind piece of history. Let's not forget the copper plating errors. In the 1980s, the U.S. Mint began producing pennies with a copper-plated zinc core. However, some coins were mistakenly minted with improper plating, creating distinctive imperfections. If you come across a 1980 penny with unusual color or texture due to copper plating issues, it could be worth considerably more than face value. So, how much could these rare 1980 pennies actually be worth? If you have a 1980 Lincoln penny with one of these minting errors or in near-perfect uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than you might expect. In fact, collectors have paid $45,300 for just one 1980 penny with the right errors and condition. That's right, $45,300. For a single penny. It's incredible to think that a coin that's practically worthless in most people's eyes could be worth such a large sum of money. So, if you have any old pennies lying around, make sure to check them closely for these rare errors and pristine examples. You might be sitting on a hidden treasure. So, there you have it, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1980. Whether it's the pristine condition, a minting error, or a unique feature that sets it apart, this coin could turn out to be the jackpot of your collection. Today, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies you might not even realize you've got in your collection, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1976. This coin, though it may seem like just another common penny, could actually be worth thousands of dollars. Trust me, you won't want to miss this deep dive into what makes this particular coin so rare, valuable, and highly sought after by collectors. Let's start with a quick look at the history of the 1976 Lincoln penny. This coin was minted during the year of America's bicentennial, marking 200 years since the signing of the Declaration of Independence. In celebration of this monumental occasion, the U.S. Mint produced a variety of special coins, including the bicentennial quarters and half dollars. While the penny didn't get a special redesign for the bicentennial, the 1976 Lincoln penny still holds a unique place in numismatic history. Most of these pennies were produced in large quantities, circulating widely across the country, which means finding one in exceptional condition can be quite a challenge. Now, you may be asking, what makes the 1976 Lincoln penny so special if it was minted in such large numbers? Well, the answer lies in a few factors: condition, minting errors, and certain variations that make this coin rarer and more valuable than you might think. For most collectors, the true appeal of the 1976 Lincoln penny lies in its rarity, especially in pristine, uncirculated condition. As we all know, coins that have been heavily circulated lose their sharp details, and the wear and tear over the years can significantly decrease their value. But if you happen to find a 1976 penny that looks as though it was just minted yesterday, free from scratches, fading, and discoloration, you could have something truly remarkable on your hands. Uncirculated coins, especially those in near-perfect condition, are much more valuable than their well-worn counterparts. This is where the real potential for big money comes in, but what truly makes the 1976 Lincoln penny stand out to collectors are the errors and variations that occurred during the minting process. And trust me, these mistakes are exactly what collectors are after. Minting errors happen when the U.S. mints machines make unintentional mistakes during production, resulting in coins that have slight design flaws or odd features that set them apart from the typical run-of-the-mill coin. One of the most sought-after errors in the 1976 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse. This error occurs when the coin's design is stamped multiple times, causing parts of the image to appear doubled or blurry. For the 1976 penny, this often results in a doubled portrait of Abraham Lincoln, or a doubling of the date itself. These double-strike errors are particularly valuable because they are so rare and hard to find. A 1976 Lincoln penny with a noticeable double die obverse could be worth significantly more than the typical value. Another type of error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that's shifted off-center. It's a small but eye-catching mistake that can make a coin incredibly unique. Off-center 1976 pennies are much harder to come by, and collectors prize them for their irregularity and distinctiveness. Finally, some 1976 Lincoln pennies have clipped planchets, which occur when the blank metal discs used to create coins aren't properly aligned in the minting press. This causes the coin to be struck with a portion of its edge missing, making it look like part of the coin was clipped away. These types of errors are rare and incredibly interesting to collectors who are always looking for coins with oddities like this. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. If you happen to own a 1976 Lincoln penny in uncirculated condition, or even better, a penny with one of these rare minting errors like a double die obverse or an off-center strike, you might be sitting on a small fortune. Coins with these characteristics can sell for tens of thousands of dollars at auction or through private collectors. In fact, some collectors have paid as much as $40,300 for a single 1976 penny with the right conditions and errors. It's incredible to think that a simple penny, one that you might have casually overlooked, could be worth such a massive amount. So, next time you go through your old change or look through your coin collection, take a second to carefully inspect any 1976 pennies you might have. They could be worth far more than their face value. Today, we're going to talk about a hidden gem in the world of numismatics, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1975. This particular penny might look like just another coin from the 1970s, but trust me, it could be worth a lot more than you expect. Stay tuned as we dive into the details of this coin's history, the errors that make it so special, and how much it could be worth to collectors. You'll want to listen very carefully. This one's a real treasure. Let's start by setting the stage for the 1975 Lincoln penny. While most of us are familiar with the standard Lincoln penny design, which has been in circulation since 1909, the 1975 coin holds a special place in history. This was the year that the U.S. Mint was busy working on its bicentennial coinage, commemorating 200 years of American independence. Although the penny didn't get any redesign like the quarter or half dollar, the 1975 Lincoln penny was still part of the larger 1970s landscape of U.S. currency. During this period, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies. But what sets the 1975 coin apart from its counterparts is its rarity in certain conditions and the presence of minting errors that make it extremely valuable to collectors. Most of the pennies produced in 1975 circulated heavily, so finding one in near-perfect condition today is pretty rare. But let's talk about the exciting part, the potential errors that can make this penny worth a lot more than its face value. First up, let's discuss the importance of condition. Like any coin, the condition of the 1975 Lincoln penny can significantly affect its value. Coins that have been used in everyday transactions over the years typically show signs of wear, like scratches, fading, or even discoloration. But if you manage to find a 1975 penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it still has sharp details and looks as if it just came from the mint, you've already got a rare find. Uncirculated pennies are much less common, and they're highly sought after by collectors, especially those looking to complete their sets or find pristine examples. Now, let's talk about the minting errors that can make the 1975 penny worth a small fortune. The U.S. Mint is known for occasional mistakes during the coin production process, and these errors can make a coin highly desirable in the eyes of collectors. One of the most well-known errors for the 1975 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, resulting in parts of the image appearing doubled or blurry. In the case of the 1975 penny, this error often leads to a noticeable doubling of Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the date on the coin. This subtle but important flaw makes the coin stand out, and it's one of the most coveted variations for collectors of error coins. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift slightly off-center. While this may sound like a small mistake, it makes for an incredibly unique coin. Collectors love off-center pennies because each one is different and represents a rare, one-of-a-kind piece of history. A 1975 Lincoln penny with an off-center strike can be worth significantly more than a standard penny, especially if it's in good condition, but the fun doesn't stop there. There are also clipped planchets to keep an eye out for. This error occurs when the blank metal disc used to strike the coin is not properly aligned during production, resulting in a portion of the coin being clipped off. This leaves an irregularly shaped penny with an interesting missing section along its edge. Like the off-center strikes, clipped planchets are highly prized by collectors for their uniqueness and rarity. So, you may be wondering, what's the value of these rare 1975 Lincoln pennies with errors or in excellent condition? Well, here's the exciting part. If you have a 1975 penny with one of these minting errors, or if it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth significantly more than just 1-cent coins. With these characteristics can fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction, especially if they have the right combination of rarity and quality. In fact, a 1975 Lincoln penny in excellent condition or with a minting error like a double die obverse or off-center strike has been known to sell for as much as $41,800. That's right, $41,800 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something so small and seemingly insignificant could be worth such a huge amount of money. So, next time you're going through your spare change or checking your coin collection, make sure to keep an eye out for any 1975 Lincoln pennies that may be worth more than you ever imagined. And that's a wrap on today's video about the 1975 Lincoln penny. I hope you found this information fascinating and that it inspires you to dig through your coins to see if you have one of these valuable gems hidden in your collection. Today, because we're diving into one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies you could ever come across, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1982. You might think that a penny from the 1980s is nothing special, but trust me, this particular year holds some incredible surprises for collectors. Stick around as we explore why this seemingly ordinary coin could actually be worth thousands of dollars. Let's start by talking about the history behind the 1982 Lincoln penny. During this year, the U.S. Mint was in the process of making some significant changes to its coinage. The most notable change was the shift from a copper to a copper-plated zinc composition for pennies. Before 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper, but due to rising copper prices, the U.S. Mint switched to a new material made up of 97.5% zinc and just 2.5% copper. This shift marked a major turning point in the production of U.S. pennies, and it's one of the reasons why the 1982 Lincoln penny is so special. Now, you may be asking yourself, what makes the 1982 penny so valuable if it's from such a common year? Well, as with most rare and valuable coins, it all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. The 1982 penny is unique because there are two different compositions that were produced that year. Some were made of the traditional copper, while others were made of the new copper-plated zinc. To make matters even more interesting, there are minting errors that make certain 1982 pennies incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors. Let's talk about the composition differences first. If you're lucky enough to find a 1982 penny that is made of the older copper composition, it's already something special. But here's the kicker: some of the copper pennies from 1982 were mistakenly struck with the wrong weight and size, making them much more valuable than the standard copper-plated zinc pennies. If you find one of these copper pennies that were accidentally minted with the wrong weight, it could be worth a small fortune. Now, let's get to the minting errors, because this is where the real excitement begins. One of the most famous and valuable errors in the 1982 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, creating a doubling effect on the image. In the case of the 1982 penny, this could mean that Abraham Lincoln's portrait or the date on the coin appears doubled or slightly blurry. This error is highly coveted by collectors because of how rare and difficult it is to find, especially in excellent condition. Another error to keep an eye out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift off-center. These types of mistakes are a collector's dream because each off-center penny is unique, with no two coins looking exactly alike. A 1982 Lincoln penny with an off-center strike is a rare find and can be worth a significant amount of money, and let's not forget about the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the blank metal discs used to strike coins are not properly aligned, which causes part of the coin to be clipped off during the minting process. A 1982 penny with a clipped planchet will have an irregular edge, making it a very distinct and rare piece. Collectors love these types of errors because they're one of a kind, and finding one in great condition could be a game changer for any collection. So, now you're probably wondering, how much is a 1982 Lincoln penny really worth? Well, if you happen to have a 1982 penny made from the copper composition or one that has one of these minting errors like the double die obverse, off-center strike, or clipped planchet, you could be looking at a pretty hefty payday. The value of these coins can vary depending on their condition and the rarity of the error, but here's the exciting part: some of these pennies have been known to sell for as much as $38,300, that's right, $38,300 for a single 1982 penny. It's mind-blowing to think that a simple penny, which is often tossed aside without a second thought, could actually hold that kind of value. So, the next time you're sorting through your spare change or going through your coin collection, be sure to check your 1982 pennies. They might just be worth far more than you ever imagined. And that's a wrap on today's video about the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1982. Whether it's the rare copper composition, a minting error, or just the right condition, this penny can be a true hidden treasure. Today, we're diving into a coin that may look simple at first glance but has the potential to be worth a small fortune, the United States 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1979. You might think, it's just a penny from the late 70s, how valuable can it be? Well, you might be surprised. This penny holds some fascinating secrets that could make it one of the most valuable pieces in your collection. Stick around as we take a deep dive into what makes the 1979 Lincoln penny so special, and by the end of this video, you'll be ready to start looking through your spare change like a true coin hunter. Let's start by looking at the 1979 penny in its historical context. The 1970s was an eventful decade for the United States, with major shifts in politics, culture, and, of course, the economy. By 1979, the U.S. Mint was still producing coins with the classic Lincoln design, which had been in circulation since 1909. However, as with many coins from this era, the 1979 penny holds a certain rarity and value that can make it much more than just pocket change. But what makes this penny so interesting for collectors? Let's explore. First off, the condition of the coin plays a major role in determining its value. Most pennies from 1979 were circulated widely, meaning they saw years of use and suffered wear and tear over time. However, finding one in uncirculated condition is what really gets collectors excited. These uncirculated pennies are harder to come by, and when you do find one in excellent shape, sharp details, no visible scratches, and a fresh appearance, it can be a gold mine for your collection. A 1979 Lincoln penny in pristine condition can be worth much more than its face value, so keep an eye out for coins that look almost brand new. But what about the minting errors? This is where things get really interesting. Minting errors are one of the key reasons collectors go crazy over certain coins. The US Mint isn't perfect, and sometimes, mistakes slip through the cracks during production. When that happens, a coin with an error becomes much rarer and more valuable. For the 1979 penny, there are a few minting errors that can increase its value exponentially. One of the most famous errors associated with the 1979 penny is the double die obverse. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice, causing certain elements of the design to appear doubled. For the 1979 Lincoln penny, this can lead to doubled features on Abraham Lincoln's portrait or even the date. This error is not easy to spot unless you're really paying attention, but if you have a 1979 penny with visible doubling on Lincoln's face or the year, you've got a valuable coin on your hands. Collectors pay top dollar for these types of errors because they are so rare and desirable. Another error that can make the 1979 penny especially valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the penny isn't properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a design that is shifted off-center. These off-center coins are highly sought after because each one is unique. No two off-center pennies look exactly the same, making them a prized addition to any collection. If you find a 1979 penny that's off-center, you could have a rare gem in your hands, and we can't forget about the clipped planchet error. This occurs when the metal blank used to strike the coin is not perfectly centered, causing part of the coin to be clipped away during the minting process. These clipped pennies have an irregular shape, and collectors love them for their rarity and oddity. A clipped planchet 1979 penny is sure to catch the eye of any numismatist, and it could fetch a significant amount at auction. Now, you're probably wondering, how much could a 1979 Lincoln penny really be worth? After all, it's just a penny, right? Well, here's where it gets exciting. If you're fortunate enough to have a 1979 penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or one that has a minting error like the double die obverse or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a valuable coin that collectors would pay top dollar for. In fact, a 1979 Lincoln penny in exceptional condition or with an error has been known to sell for as much as $39,700. It's absolutely incredible to think that a single penny, something you might have dismissed as spare change, could be worth such an astounding amount of money. So, if you have any 1979 pennies tucked away in a drawer, or if you come across one while searching through your spare change, make sure to examine it closely. It could be worth a whole lot more than you think. That wraps up our look at the 1979 Lincoln penny. Whether it's the rarity of an uncirculated coin or the allure of a minting error, this penny has the potential to be a true treasure. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about rare and valuable coins, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and happy coin hunting.